Hi sir, my name is Divya and my group members are Karisha, Olivia and Joshua. So we have chosen Google Classroom as our Google services. So Google Classroom is a free web services development created by Google for schools that aim to simplify creating, distributing and grading assignments. Well, to simplify, Google Classroom can be used in two ways, either the free version or you can actually access it through Google Business where there's more services through Google Business. If not, it's just simple. Okay, the next one, what does Google Classroom do? Number one, you can actually make assignments with Google Classroom. You can also make announcements. You can store your class materials and you can also allow students to interact. So next, moving on to the features and function, Google Classroom integrates with Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Types, Google Pages, Gmails and more together with an information framework. So if you see, when a teacher creates an assignment, so the student can actually choose a way if they want to answer it through Google Docs or if they want to upload a document. So all of it will be stored under Google Drive. So we have 4 users here. The first user is actually a teacher where they can actually initiate a video meeting which will be by Google Meet, and then they can create and handle assignments, project and grade online, and they can also add content. So for an example, they're actually doing a history class, so the teacher can actually create the material, okay, and she can assign a assignment and also project, and in the same time she can grade them, and she also can add contents. And the next one is offer clear and real-time reviews. That's for an example, if they already created the projects or assignments, they can actually review it later, especially the students and also the teachers. And the last one is for teachers to post announcements and involve students in question-driven conversation, where when a teacher actually posts assignments or actually any work, if they're not sure of what they're doing and everything, there's actually a chat session there, or because it's became like a post, they can actually comment there and the teachers can give them feedback. Next, for students. So for students, they can track classwork and submit tasks. That means like when the teacher assigns the work, they can actually know when is the due date, and it's also integrated with their Google Calendar, so it gives them notification. Next, they can share tools in the class stream or via email and connect. That means since they're using Google Meet, everything will be saved into their Google Drive after the class is over, so whereby they can watch back again and learn. So the last one is verify originality, inputs and grades. So they can always verify their assignments and everything. That's all from me. I'll pass on to my teammate Karisha.
Hi, so I'm going to continue the presentation with features and functions for parents or guardians. The first feature is the guardians or parents can get an email overview of the work of their child. This feature actually helps them to track their children's performance in their studies. The second feature is guardians and parents are able to see announcements and events for review. This makes them up to date on what is happening in their children's class. Moving on with features and functions of administrators. So the first function of administrator is to protect data for the apps and set permissions. This will make the Google Classroom secure since not everyone can use all the functions. Other than that, the second function will be configuring classrooms and rosters. This feature is to create the classrooms based on the requirement and assigning students in it. The third feature is the admin is able to exclude from courses for students and staff. This feature will help the students or teachers to only access their relatable subjects only. Last but not least, admins are having 24/7 assistance services. For example, if a teacher is facing a problem, then they can contact the admins to solve the problem. So now I'm going to present about the categories of features and functions which are learnability, efficiency, and also effectiveness. Learnability is a quality of products and interfaces that allow users to quickly become familiar with them and able to make good use of all their features and capabilities. In this case, when there is an issue arises in Google Classroom, there is a platform called Help Center and Community where each user can utilize this function by accessing their Help Center and typing their issue. Moreover, they can also read the forum from the community. The next point is efficiency. Efficiency is to show the effort put into the developed application and to quantify its user satisfaction. In this case, we can use the calendar as an example. When a work is assigned, the students can check all their due dates in the calendar. Last but not least, effectiveness is the capacity to do the right thing. The effectiveness in Google Classroom helps an instructor to create an assignments or quiz which will notify the students and also automatically come as an announcement. So that's all from me. I'm passing the floor to my teammate Olivia. Thank you.
For this slide, I will be presenting usability tactics part. Usability falls into two types, which are runtime user and runtime system. Here I will explain in details about the runtime user that are found in Google Classroom. The first one is undo and redo, where undo is used to reverse a mistake, while redo is to restore any action. Next is live classes, where Google Classroom allows virtual class to be conducted through Google Meet. And then we got virtual discussion, where the educator can invite learners to answer question-driven discussion. And the fourth one is announcement, where educators can update learners of any announcement that is made. Next is set classroom themes. Themes can be changed according to preference to make class more interactive. The sixth one is user can edit content to assignment, which means assignment can be edited up even after it is posted. And then the last one for runtime user is user can reuse assignment, tests, or other course content in future classes. This means content can be passed to future class once current class is over. So when you go to the next slide, this is the example of a runtime user diagram. Moving on to the next slides, I will now explain about runtime system. So Google Classroom have two runtime system. The first one is automatic notification, where the system can notify user on new announcement and when submission of the assignment is due. And another one is display of task progress, where the system can show users progress whenever they access to it. And as you can see, the next slide. Next slide. This is the example of runtime system diagram. That is all for usability tactics. Now I will pass the presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joshua and I'll be presenting about the software architecture for Google Classroom. And here we have a diagram which is a simple ERD diagram, and this will show us the relationships between all the entities that exist in the Google Classroom system. So as we can see, we have some essential entities, which are the users, which consists of the administrator, parent, student, and teacher. And they are separated because they all have different functions that they can perform. So this is the main difference that they have between them. And of course, Google Classroom has a classroom, which classrooms will have assignments, and these assignments can be added to posts and announcements. So the teachers are able to inform their students of any assignments that they are giving out. But the main thing I want to talk about here is the usability usability tactics that this diagram covers. So one that my teammate did mention previously was the reuse of assignments and tests, which can be accomplished through assignments and teachers relationship, that you can see that the teacher has access to the assignments as long as they when they create the assignment, and this assignment can be set to any classrooms that they are a part of. And next usability tactic that we have is the edit content of assignments, which can be done through the student having access to the Google document. So the long line that goes below, through the middle between student and Google Drive document. So once a student is given access to the Google Drive document, depending on the permissions that's set by the teacher, they have permissions to freely change and edit their submissions before the deadline. And next, we have the virtual discussions, which can be done by having Google Meet and sharing the Google document for a two-way discussion. So since the teacher and student are able to have a connection through the Google Meet, they are also able to share the Google document on Google Meet. And Google Drive documents typically have a comment feature, which teachers are able to comment there, and while having the Google Meet session, are able to give feedback to their students about their assignments. So another usability tactic feature that we identified was that announcements can be made to classrooms by teachers, either for assignments or general information. And students can also make these posts or announcements if given permission to do so. And as you can see, there is a connection between the teachers to the post/announcements, as well as for students. So students and teachers are welcome to make their own posts and comment on them as well. And last but not least, we have live classes. So live classes can be done as the teacher and students have both a connection through the Google Meet. So a teacher can set up a Google Meet, which is posted on an announcement, and students can access the Google Meet session through the announcement and have their live class. So that is all that I'll be covering for the usability tactics for our software architecture. And that is all for our presentation. Thank you.